You can also add grow, and then you can add reproduction, and then you can add death. But in NCERT that is not given. Only three things are mentioned in life cycle. So it is birth, growth and death. Fine. So we are going to say only birth, growth and death. We are not going to add reproduction in this life cycle. Then what are the factors affecting reproduction? We have internal physiology and organisms habitat. So coming to types of reproduction, we have asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Lifespan, again, it refers to the duration for which an organism survives. Crow and parrot are usually compared because their size is almost comparable. Now we shall get into asexual and sexual reproduction. We shall try to differentiate between asexual and sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, how many parents are involved? Here there is only one parent. There have to be here one or two parents. Do you understand? Offsprings. Here they are not only genetically similar but also morphologically similar. So because they are both morphologically and genetically similar, there is a term called clone being used to describe these, because they are just exact copy of their parents. Here the offsprings show variation. They although inherit the genetic material of the parents or the parent, there is variation that is seen here in the sexual reproduction. So the word clone is not applicable here to the offsprings. Then examples, usually the organisms belonging to Monera and Protista, they are the ones that reproduce by asexual means. Sexual reproduction is seen in higher organisms like fungi, plants and animals. Now when we come to the type of cell division that happens which gives rise to this, we have here mitosis. Mitosis is the type of division that happens in asexual reproduction, because in mitosis there is no recombination, there is no exchange of genetic material. We have clones being formed, that is, they are genetically and morphologically similar. Here there is first mitosis, that is for multiplication of germ cells. And then there is meiosis or reductional cell division. So in reductional cell division, obviously we have recombination, and recombination gives rise to variation. If I have to explain the process of asexual and sexual reproduction, in asexual reproduction there is a parent that is capable of producing an offspring, right? This is all is there. There is a parent and the parent produces offspring. But here in sexual reproduction, what happens? There is a parent or parents. There has to be male and female gametes being formed. These two gametes fuse. There is fertilization happening, and then there is zygote that is formed, and then this zygote is going to grow into an embryo, and then the embryo becomes an organism. So the sexual reproduction, because there is exchange of genetic material, usually this exchange of genetic material is called as recombination, that happens in the packaging stage of meiosis prophase 1. Okay, you have to remember this when we read principles of inheritance, all the Gregor Mendel's experiments and everything. This gets important. Prophase 1 of meiosis, we have recombination happening, that is exchange of genetic material. So this is an overview of asexual and sexual reproduction. I once again repeat, in sexual reproduction we have one or two parents. If there is one parent, that parent only is capable of producing both male and female gametes. If both the sex organs are not present in the same organism, it has to be present in two different organisms. So in asexual reproduction, there is only one parent who is capable of reproducing, and offsprings in asexual reproduction is called as clone, and the term refers to genetically and morphologically similar individuals, but that cannot be happening here because there is no similarity, there is just variation seen, and so clone cannot be applied to the offsprings produced by sexual reproduction. Then we have Monera and Protista. These two are the examples of asexual reproduction, and higher organisms are the examples of sexual reproduction. Mitosis happens in asexual. Here we have mitosis in the beginning for multiplication of the germ cells, and then we have meiosis happening, which is called as reductional cell division, and it has a significance that it helps in evolution. So what is the process in asexual reproduction? A parent is capable of producing offspring. Here parent or parents are required, or to put it simple, we have male and female gametes. They have to fuse. That is called as fertilization, right? And then the zygote is formed, it becomes an embryo and then an organism. So there is variation. Asexual reproduction, when it is seen in organisms, it is called as asexual reproduction only. When it is seen in plants, asexual reproduction is called as vegetative reproduction. Okay, so there is no difference between asexual reproduction and vegetative reproduction. The difference is asexual reproduction that is seen in the organisms or the animals, that is called as asexual reproduction, but if an asexual reproduction is seen in plants, it is called as vegetative reproduction. And for vegetative reproduction we need vegetative propagules. So this is what you have to understand about sexual and asexual reproduction. In next class we shall dive into the examples of asexual reproduction and vegetative reproduction, and then we shall get into sexual reproduction in detail. Okay, thank you.